Hello and welcome back to Fred in the Shed. On this video we're going to be looking at something a little bit different. This is an ultrasonic all-purpose cleaner. This is Mrs. Fred's new little toy. It's made by a company called LifeBasis. The model number is CS1 and her main use is going to be to non-abrasively clean her jewellery. However, it does have other uses and it will ultrasonically clean any very small component, be it a watch part, electronic part that you may have that you just don't want to damage. It'll even clean the blades from an electric razor, and I'll be trying that at the end of the video. Have a quick look what comes in the box, and also as always pleased to see a set of comprehensive instructions. I think this is fairly easy to use. It has 5 timer settings. There's only one power setting. Works by ultrasound, of course, and operates on 42 kilohertz, so it's very low down in the frequency range. Has this interesting plastic arch device here. Not quite sure at this stage what this is for, but we'll come back to that. Yeah, overall it's pretty decent quality. It's made of plastic with a stainless steel bed, and the 2 haptic controls on the front are touch sensitive. One of the best things about these ultrasonic cleaners is there's zero running costs other than a small amount of electricity. There's no chemicals to buy or soaps to put into the water. You just use simple plain tap water, and the tank is quite large. It takes 500 millilitres. You have a small plastic basket to put more delicate things in, such as jewellery, watch parts, things like that. It just keeps everything nice and secure. I imagine that once the water becomes excited by the ultrasound, things can move around. You do have to realise though that if you do use the basket, it reduces the efficiency of the unit by something about 20 or 30%, so you just have to allow a little bit extra on the time settings. Now when it comes down to the time settings, there's nothing really in the instructions to give you any guide. I think it's just kind of suck it and see, if you like. So we're going to be starting off at about 380 seconds. As you can hear, when in operation, the unit just makes a slight buzzing sound. So just going to zoom in here to see if there's any action. Can't really see an awful lot happening. A few air bubbles are produced whilst the unit is running. And I think we're just going to let it run its course and then see what things look like at the end. That was a bit of an anticlimax. I was expecting maybe a couple of bleeps at the end of the timer, but it just simply switches off. As I wipe my finger under the lid, it's quite interesting. You've got a little bit of condensation builds up and it feels slightly warm, which I guess is generated by the ultrasound. Now it's worth noting that all of this jewellery I've put in here is heavily used. We wear this daily, so it's quite badly scratched and beaten up. Certainly my wedding ring, but everything has come out rather nice and shiny. I was quite surprised. When I looked at my own wedding ring, I did notice some heavy ground in dirt on the inside of the ring, and this doesn't surprise me. I wear this all the time and I'm quite heavy with my hands, so perhaps I thought I've not really given this cleaner a very good chance. So what I decided to do was to get some very weak detergent and just give these rings a little bit of a gentle clean, and then put them back in the cleaner and give them another go. This time I set the timer slightly longer at 480 seconds. Once again we've got that condensation on the inside of the lid. Now when I opened the lid, I was quite surprised because the water had changed colour. It's gone a very distinct yellow colour, which proves that it must be removing some dirt from the rings. Indeed, when I zoomed in and looked a bit closer, I'm sorry if this is a little bit gross, but yeah, you can see, look, there's dirt collected on the bottom of the tank, so it definitely works. And this time when I looked at the rings, I have to admit, I was pretty impressed. They came out looking very nice and clean, very sparkly. And Mrs. Fred, who happened to walk into the kitchen at this point from across the other side of the room, she said, wow, look at those diamonds sparkle in the light. And as I say, this is not new jewellery, this is heavily used jewellery. So yeah, pretty impressed by the result. Incidentally, I finally worked out what this plastic bridge section is for. It's for cleaning a watch strap. The idea being that you attach the watch to it and you can put the watch strap in the tank to clean the links and keep the watch out of the liquid. Didn't quite work on my watch, and to be honest with you, I'm a little bit unsure about putting a mechanical watch anywhere near an ultrasonic cleaner, but that's the idea anyway. Okay, one more final test, perhaps a little bit more manly, and that is to clean the rotor blades on my electric razor. There's a picture on the box, says it does it, so why not give it a go? I suppose you could also clean the foil blades on an electric razor as well. This is a job that I periodically do strip these down and give them a wipe over with a fine brush, but it's one that's quite difficult to get all of the dirt off these blades. So let's stick them in the tank and see what happens. As I don't consider these parts delicate, I didn't use the plastic basket, which means we should get about 30% better cleaning. Right from the start, I could tell this was doing a pretty effective job. I could see particles of dirt floating on top of the water, and I will warn you, it's a bit yucky. The water did change colour quite quickly and end up looking like a murky, horrible soup. Yeah, that does look pretty gross, doesn't it? I apologise for that, but I've got to say I was very impressed how these blades and the turbine grills came out. Really, really clean. I couldn't have done this anywhere near as good with a brush and detergent, and it would have taken me a lot longer. This new gadget of Mrs. Fred's, well, it gets the thumbs up from Freddy in the Shed, and when she's at work, I can see me maybe on the sly, me borrowing this a little bit more. As I mentioned, Mrs. Fred got this from Amazon UK. If you're interested, I will leave a link down in the description so you can go away and have a look. And yeah, I hope the video has been interesting. It's something I don't normally show on the channel. But as for now, as always, please, please, please look after each other, take care, and of course, catch you on the next one, guys.